Okay, hi, Bronco hier mit dem Thema PlayStation 2 Spiele auf dem Steam Deck spielen. Also, und das ist ja hier das Steam Deck und ich sag mal so, Emulatoren kann man sehr gut auf dem Steam Deck spielen. Das Steam Deck ist dafür, ja, gut, ja, also es ist schnell, die Technik, die hier drin verbaut ist, also es funktioniert echt super. Und ja, lasst uns mal angucken, wie man auf dem Steam Deck einen PlayStation 2 Emulator installieren kann. Ich würde natürlich sagen, benutzt am besten bloß eure eigenen Sicherheitskopien. Ja, ich würde euch nicht raten, irgendwie was anderes zu machen. Und ja, am besten fahrt ihr halt, wenn ihr euch eine eigene, sag ich mal, Sicherheitskopie erstellt von euren eigenen
Hello
Spielen.
folks, the PlayStation
Ich habe hier ein Video.
Hello folks, the PlayStation 2
Und
Emulation performs
ja, hier sieht man das
extremely well
Ganze.
on Steam Deck.
Also,
And we
guck mal, und wenn du mal überlegst, wie viele PlayStation 2 Spiele es auch gibt, und die nehmen jetzt nicht so viel Speicher weg, das kannst du dann also auf dem Steam Deck spielen, mega geil. Vor allem, du kannst ja auch, ich weiß nicht, bei eBay oder so, dir günstig Spiele kaufen. Du erstellst dir davon eine Sicherheitskopie und dann kannst du es halt auf dem Steam Deck spielen. Also mega geil. Lass uns das mal angucken.
HD
Ne?
remastered game.
Achso,
So
ich muss dazu sagen, ich packe einen Link in die Videobeschreibung, so dass man sich dann halt das Video angucken kann im Original.
decide to make a complete EmuDeck PlayStation 2 Emulator setup guide. I hope this will be the only guide that you need to play
Es
your
gibt halt auch
favorite
wirklich
PS2
geile
games
Spiele, ne?
on
So
Steam
Gran
Deck.
Turismo
This
4,
is an in-depth
das
video,
alte Resident
and I
Evil, wie
have
man hier
broken it
sieht.
into several chapters as shown on the screen, so you can skip to any chapters that you are interested in. By the way, I have already made several similar emulation tutorials on my channel for PS3, Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo 3DS. If you are interested in any of those topics, please check out my channel.
Ja.
Let's jump into the PlayStation 2 Emulator tutorial now. The EmuDeck installation is pretty easy. I will quickly explain the installation process
Ja,
here.
also es geht jetzt hier um das Emu-Deck. Also Emu-Deck habe ich bei mir auf dem Steam Deck auch mit drauf. Und da hast du gleich eigentlich so, ich weiß nicht, 20 Emulatoren oder sowas dabei. Also richtig geil.
PlayStation 2 emulation in this video. First, we need to switch to desktop mode on the Steam Deck. From desktop mode, use your Firefox internet browser and go to EmuDeck official website. I have the EmuDeck linked in my video description. From this website, we can directly download the EmuDeck installation file. Once it is downloaded, we can click Show in Folder. We need to copy the EmuDeck installation file onto our desktop in order to process this installation. And this is mandatory. Then we can double-click on the EmuDeck installer from the desktop. Click Continue on this pop-up window to confirm this installation. Let's select Custom Mode here, which will give us more options to set up the EmuDeck. Then click Continue. I highly recommend to use SD card
Ja,
for your
würde ich euch auch empfehlen. Also wenn ihr so das mit Emulatoren und sowas durchziehen wollt, dann besorgt euch am besten eine Micro-SD-Karte. Ich habe in meinem Steam Deck eine 500er drin und ja, die braucht ihr auch. Dann könnt ihr das alles besser ordnen und dann wisst ihr wenigstens, wo ihr das drauf habt. Ihr könnt ja auch mehrere SD-Karten benutzen. Also man könnte jetzt natürlich auch auf eine vielleicht die ganzen Emulationsgames und sowas raufmachen. Auf der anderen habt ihr irgendwie was anderes. Also man kann das schon gut aufteilen und es gibt halt echt große SD-Karten zu kaufen. Ich bin ja Amazon Prime-Kunde und ich würde euch das empfehlen, auf Amazon auf jeden Fall mal nachzugucken, dass man
games.
eine SD-Karte
Even with
findet. So.
E1-type SD card, it works perfect with EmuDecks. So we will pick SD card as storage here. On this page, obviously, we need to select Steam Deck. On this screen, it shows all emulators that are currently supported by EmuDeck. I will disable all the emulators, except for the
Guck,
PlayStation 2.
und das sind so alles, die ganzen Emulatoren, die es so gibt. Also eigentlich alles, was das jetzt begehrt, so. Ne?
Emulator, which
Aber
is
guck,
called
es geht ja halt jetzt um den PlayStation 2 Emulator da oben.
PCSX2, since I only cover PlayStation 2 emulation in this video. but you can always come back to this page and install any emulators that you like later on. I will leave everything on for this page since EmuDeck has already done all the configurations, so we can take advantage of this. The autosave feature is not available for 3DS Emulator, so I will turn this off here. I don't want to be a member of Retro Achievement, so just click skip here. On the next couple pages, you can pick any options you like. It's all about your personal tastes for the emulation game. I would like to set up my 3D games at 16:9 screen ratio and keep the 2D games at 4:3. You can pick any emulation station theme here. I personally like the RB simple style. Then click next. On this page, I don't want to install any homebrew, so I will just select no here. The EmuDeck now start processing all the installation.
Guck, und das ist, also einfacher geht's nicht, ne? Jetzt fängt er halt an, das Ganze zu installieren, also den Emulator, und ja, dann kannst du nachher gleich loslegen und Games spielen und so.
After everything's done, we can click Exit. Now we have completed the EmuDeck installation on the Steam Deck. The original EmuDeck installer is now changed to EmuDeck access icon on the desktop. That's all for the EmuDeck installation. After we have the EmuDeck installed on the Steam Deck, now we need to set up the PS2 BIOS files. First, we need to go to this website and download the BIOS files. I already have it linked under the video description. You can either download the BIOS file from your Steam Deck directly, as I did here, or download them from your PC and then copy them into your Steam Deck. After the downloading process is finished, we can simply double-click on the zip file to extract it. Then double-click the extracted folder and select all the files inside this folder. And select Cut. Then go to Emulation BIOS folder on your Steam Deck SD card and paste all the files into the BIOS folder. The BIOS setup is pretty easy. That's all we need to do for the BIOS setup. Before we begin this part, just keep in mind that the Steam Deck SD card cannot be read on a Windows PC or a Mac. You can either download the games from your PC and then copy them into the Steam Deck, as I usually do. Or you can use your Steam Deck to download the games directly. Especially for PS2 games, they are relatively small compared to the PS3 games.
Guck, er sagt es halt auch, ne? PlayStation 2 Spiele, die sind noch nicht so groß wie PlayStation 3 Spiele. Das Ding ist auch so, so eine neuen Games wie Red Dead Redemption und sowas, ne? Die ziehen so auf dem Steam Deck erstmal 120 GB weg und keine Ahnung, so eine kleinen PS4-Games, vielleicht 5 GB oder sowas, die sind nicht gerade groß. Und wenn du denn so eine SD-Karte hast mit 500 GB oder sowas, kannst du ja überlegen, wie viel du dann drauf kriegst du.
To download them directly onto your Steam Deck. So I used this USB flash drive to transfer all my game ROMs into the Steam Deck from my PC. As you can see, I have 4 PS2 ROMs on this USB flash drive. I will copy all those 4 games and paste them into the Steam Deck SD card location, as shown on the screen. Make sure your ROMs are pasted into the correct folders here, otherwise you are not able to play the game correctly. It will take a while to copy those games over since I had 4 games here, but once all games are copied over, we can now close this window and unplug the USB flash drive. The next step we need to do is to bring the PS2 games into the SteamOS gaming mode interface. So every time we boot up the Steam Deck, PS2 games will show up in our SteamOS library. To do this, we need to click the EmuDeck icon on the desktop and then click To and Stuff. From here, we need to select Steam Room Manager. Click Yes for this pop-up window. First, disable the parsers, otherwise the EmuDeck will scan all the game ROMs. I recommend only enable the emulators that you are going to use, and disable the rest of them. Since we only deal with the PS2 games, so I will only enable the PlayStation 2 PCSX2. Then we can click Save button on the bottom left side. Then we need to click on the Preview button from the top left corner. Then click Generate App List from the bottom of the screen. We can now see all the
Guck mal, und
PS2
jetzt sieht man hier schon, was da alles für Games gibt, ne? Guck mal hier, so Gran Turismo 4, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai 3, Metal Gear Solid, Snake. Ich meinte Snake Eater, glaube ich. Und dann hier Resident Evil 4, also das normale, nicht das Remake, sondern noch das normale, was es damals für die PlayStation 4 und so gab.
That I just copied show up here. Also, we can change the game album picture from here. But for now, we can just click Save App List button. This will create the game title on our Steam OS interface. Now we can just close EmuDeck and return to the Steam Deck gaming mode. After we get into the Steam Deck gaming mode, just go to the library. We will see there are two new tabs show up.
Guck,
One
und
is
hier
called
hast du jetzt
Collection.
dein...
Under this tab, it will classify emulation games by the emulation system. The other tab is called No Steam Game. Under this tab, you will see all the emulation games that have been installed on the Steam Deck. Let's boot up the Dragon Ball game from here directly. The best feature of the EmuDeck, in my opinion, is that it allows us to access all the emulation games from Steam OS interface directly. This is just so convenient. That's all for how to adding the ISO games into the Steam Deck. In the next chapter, I will talk about how to change the screen ratio, game visual improvement, and fast forward speed feature. Those are really important for PS2 emulation. Let's set up the widescreen hack first. The widescreen hack is pretty useful for old PS2 games that were designed for 4:3 screen ratio TV. With the widescreen hack, it will stretch the game into the ultra-wide mode without black bars on top and bottom. And they actually fill the whole screen and maintain the aspect ratio, which is way better than 16:9 screen ratio by just stretching the picture. To set up the widescreen hack, first go to the Start menu, then All Applications. We need to look for PCSX2, which is the PS2 emulator. Just click and open the software. If an update window pops up, please process the software update first. This is the full screen mode of the emulator, but we can switch to desktop mode by simply click the button on the top right corner. Once in the desktop mode, navigate to the settings from the top menu and select emulation, making sure to check the box in front of Enable Cheats. Then move to the Graphics tab and check the box in front of Enable Widescreen Patches. That's all the setup we need to do. Many PS2 games had widescreen support built in, like Resident Evil 4. All you need to do is to turn on the widescreen feature under the game setting. That is all for this part. Now let's set up the game visual improvement. This is before visual improvement setup, and this is after. The game visual improvement setup will make the game looks like HD remastered.
Ja, guck, und wenn du das denn noch machst, sagt er auch gerade, ne, dann sieht das Spiel auch wesentlich besser aus.
I want to show you how to display the game list on the bottom area of the emulator. Just go to the View menu from the top and click Game List, so we can see all our PS2 games that are on our system now. Okay, now let's start the setting. First, go to the settings and select Graphics. Select the Rendering tab and change the internal resolution to 3 times. Most of PS2 games will run at 60 FPS even with 3 times native resolution. Then go to Anisotropic Filtering and select 8 times. Next, go to the Post-Processing tab. Check the FXAA box. Then check the Shader Boost and make sure to increase the saturation level. 70 is my preferred level. That's all we need to do for the visual improvement. The fast forward feature will allow us to speed up the game at any time. It is pretty handy. So first go to the settings, then emulation. Under fast forward speed, we need to change to unlimited. Then we need to switch back to the gaming mode. Make sure the frame rate limit is off under the quick access menu. Then if I boot into a game, after I press the select button and R2 button together, It will switch between the normal speed and fast forward speed. That's all for how to enable the fast forward feature. In this part, I will include some useful hotkeys that we can use anytime during gameplay. They are pretty handy.
Guck mal, kannst du hier sogar noch Hotkeys und sowas alles hinzufügen beim Steam Deck. Also dann kannst du so ein Save State machen und sowas. Also wenn du jetzt irgendwie stirbst, dann kannst du darauf drücken und dann kommst du halt wieder raus und sowas. Also musst nicht wieder von Anfang an und sowas spielen. Kannst auch nebenbei mal dann irgendwie speichern oder sowas, wenn du dann irgendwie, keine Ahnung, raus musst oder gerade was zu tun hast und so. Das ist schon wirklich geil, wenn du es auf dem Steam Deck so machen kannst.
Racing for the PlayStation 2 Emulation Guide. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. I have already done PlayStation 3, Nintendo Switch, and 3DS emulation tutorial on this channel. My next emulation guide will be for the Xbox 360. Please stay tuned. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching.
Ja, sehr gutes Video. Wie gesagt, ich packe einen Link in die Videobeschreibung. Und also, das ist der Weg, wie man auf dem Steam Deck, also auf diesem guten Ding hier, eine PlayStation 2 sich installieren kann und dann PlayStation 2 Spiele spielen kann. Also, ich hoffe, das Video hat einigen geholfen. Danke fürs Zuschauen und wir sehen uns im nächsten Video schon wieder.